Yo, what's up, you guys? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, baby. And today I'm going to be going over an update for one of my top 5 favorite decks of all time. It is Prediction Princess Shaddolls. Something that you guys, if you don't know about me, something that you guys should know about me is my favorite summoning mechanic is ritual summoning. And my favorite type of monster is ritual monsters. There's a great joy that I get out of ritual decks. It's hard to explain because it's literally the least popular summoning mechanic. Heck, even tribute summoning gets more love than it. But it's something about it that I really love. And that's what makes me love this deck more, is that I can play a ritual deck that has a competitive aspect to it that abuses the Shaddoll engine and just can set up really nasty, like aggressive turn 1 boards that control the flow and the tide of the duel, which is very, very, very beneficial for me. So let's hop into the list. This is a absolute control and stun build. What I'm trying to do is stop my opponent from playing the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And we'll get to that when we get to it. So let's start off. We have triple Terra Tray. Terra Tray is pretty much the main engine of the deck. It's the heart and soul, mainly. This is how you're going to be abusing a lot of your effects. You have to keep in mind that this deck is a flip effect deck, right? So the problem with flip monsters is they can't really be flip summoned the same turn that they're set, but she mitigates for that issue. She's a very, very positive supplement for the deck's playstyle. And overall, in general, she fixes a lot of the problems that the deck would have had if she did not exist. So she's a monster reborn. And also, she specials from hand during each end phase, and that effect is not once per turn. So if you get 2 on field, you get to Monster Reborn 2 flip effect monsters face down. And then also that during either player's turn, she can make a monster go face up or make a monster go face down. So she's a Book of Moon, or she can trigger your flip effects, which is broken. So really strong, level 9. You can obviously turbo out calamities with her, which is just insane. And then one of the best cards to get off of her is Pot of the Forbidden. This card is insane. He has 4 effects. All the effects that he have are cards that used to be on the ban list. That's why they call him Pot of the Forbidden. So he has I think it's called, he has pretty much Delinquent Duel. He has Raigeki. He has not Heavy Storm but Giant Trunade, and then he has Pot of Greed. The only effect that he has that's once per turn is the one that lets you look at your opponent's hand and shuffle 1 card from their hand into the deck. That's really important to do turn 1 so that you know what deck you're playing. So if you win game 1 just simply to the fact that you overwhelmed your opponent to the point where they didn't want to play, because a lot of smart duelists, if they know that they're going to lose, they will scoop so that they don't give you the knowledge of what deck they're playing. But with Pot of the Forbidden, you can procure and obtain that knowledge regardless of whether your opponent wants to let you know or not. So just by looking at their hand and taking their best play away, which could be the 1 Goki in their hand, it could be the 1 Engage in their hand, it could be the 1 Condina or the 1 Light Stage in their hand, it could even be the freaking Multi-Faker, and then there's 4 on the traps, for example. You know, you take away their best play, but you also know what you're playing. So you know what plays to make, and you proceed accordingly. If the duel still progresses and lasts after that, you know which Shaddoll fusions to make, you know which Shaddoll fusions to not make, you know which flip effect monsters you need to get, and you also know which next effect you need to use, because his other 3 effects are not once per turn. The one that I abuse the most is Draw 2. It's a +1. It allows me to reestablish, maintain my resources, and continue generating card economy and advantage because this is a ritual deck. So you need a lot of resources to ritual summon and also to still get your other plays started. So that +1 is really important. He helps you going second because he literally just busts boards wide open. You flip this, bounce all backwards in the Alter Guys matchup. It's pretty strong. So Terra Tray and Pot of the Forbidden are what I always refer to as a sword and a shield, attacker and defender. And then we have the GOAT, Morphing Jar. He is searchable in this deck, and also you can just abuse him. His effect is not once per turn, and you can actually abuse him, especially if you have him set up on your turn. You can just flip him, use his effect, set him with Terra Tray, flip him, use his effect, or the other way around. You use Terra Tray, you can like set him, use Terra Tray, flip him. You just can abuse him, like hit him multiple times in 1 turn on your turn, but on your opponent's turn, you can only trigger him 1 time. But ultimately, what you want to do is you want to wait until your opponent searches a lot and gets the cards they need, and you kind of just pseudo-reincarnation them, which is really strong. And the funny thing is, your opponent, it basically says both players discard all cards in their hand and then draw 5. There is no minimum requirement for this card. So if you have 1 or no cards in your hand, you're going to draw 5, which is broken. So this is always a plus for you, but it's a neg for your opponent because they start off the duel with 6 cards in hand if they're going second. So they're immediately going to neg, and you're going to replace a lot of the resources that you lost. In addition to that, if you read the card, discarding is not a cost for Morphing Jar. So if you discard your Shaddolls, you get a plethora of chain links going off in your graveyard as separate chain. So Morphing Jar is like insane. It's the GOAT. It's the nuts. And then also, In addition to trolling with Morphin Jar and Plot of the Forbidden, look at them, they look very similar. They're ban list effects. We have triple Guard Dog, which is the new route I'm taking with the deck. I love the aspect of the Shaddolls, and I'm still playing a compact Shaddoll engine, but I really wanted to take the deck above its potential little mini hemisphere and take it to the stratosphere as far as the ceiling goes. It has a much higher ceiling playing it this way, because now in the competitive format and, you know, in any regionals level event or YCS level event, you have a very high chance of winning because you have a card like Guard Dog and you also have a card like Whirlwind Weasel. Now, these are probably one of the best of flip effect monsters that exist in the game. And also, because of these, I'm waiting to get my Rescue Cats. I don't have Rescue Cats yet, but because I'm playing these and they're beasts, now I can have a 1-card Behemoth Phoenix on turn 1. Which is broken, because this is like resolving Electrum, it's like resolving Isolde, it's like resolving Double Helix, like it's just broken. But now these cards also allow me to play a card like Behemoth Phoenix, which is just broken. So I mean, play a card like Rescue Cat. But what Guard Dog does is he's a flip effect. This is a flip effect. When you flip him for the rest of the turn, your opponent cannot special summon monsters. So when you set this up with Terror Tray, you just use Terror Tray to flip Guard Dog on your opponent's standby. They can't special summon. They're completely locked out from special summoning for that turn. So like it's not really much they can do. Or if you want to play around Infinite Impermanence, you can just wait till they control a card and then do it. And then Whirlwind Weasel, which is probably better most of the time because, like, I'm not gonna lie, when you have Winda set up, what's the point of denying your opponent from special summoning if they only get 1 anyways? There's not very much they can do, especially considering that you can just book a moon their 1 special summon anyways. Whirlwind Weasel, when you flip him, for the rest of the turn, your opponent cannot activate spells or trap cards for the rest of the turn. So if you have Winda, you've already pretty much got special summoning on lock, and it's too easy to get Winda out first turn, by the way. In addition to that, if you have Winda, you could just use Terror Tray to flip Weasel, and then for any deck, basically, now they get 1 special summon, and they can't activate any spells or traps. That guarantees that their entire turn is stunned. Completely stunned. You've turned off Altergeist players, Paleozoic players, you stopped Sky Strikers. They get 1 special summon. That's fine. Because guess what? They get that 1 Link monster, but they're not getting any spells. So Sky Strikers, you're just gonna win. Gokis, they get 1 special summon, and they can't use their extenders like Instant Fusion, drones, you know, other warrior turbo cards like that. And let's get it real, like Gokis have to special summon 1 time before they go into Isolde. So if you have Window on the field, you're already winning. But it stops them from using their extenders, including Monster Reborn and Soul Charge. So if you have Window plus Weasel, Window Weasel is a powerful lock. It just completely shuts the entire deck down. Like any deck you're playing, it doesn't matter. If they can't special summon and they can't use spells and traps, there's not very much they can do, you know? And then we have the Shaddolls. We have Triple Hedgehog. We have double Squamata. We have double Beast. We have double Falco and 1 Dragon. Now, while I wanted to really play more Shaddolls, I had to cut back. I used to play a 14 card Shaddoll engine. I took 4 Shaddolls out. I took out 2 of each of the fusions, and that equaled 6, so I can play 3 Guard Dogs and 3 Whirlwinds. I'm still on the fence about playing Spirit of the Fallen, but I think I don't want to play her because once I get my Rescue Cats, which are coming soon, so stay tuned for the update, I'm going to be able to have a better normal summon than the Spirit of the Fallen. So Rescue Cat's going to be the normal summon for the turn. Other than that, you're just setting and you're getting more flip effect monsters on the field. I don't think I need to explain anything that the Shaddolls do. I just will have a little, like, I guess I can talk about interactions and stuff when we get to the spells, but you should really know what Shaddolls do by now. Like, honestly, like, they're so old that, you know, if you don't know what Shaddolls do, you just probably weren't around at that time. But, you know, if you want to know what they do, just ask me in the comment section. Then for our spells, we're starting off with triple Las Vegas and double Optimus Prime to search it out. This is going to be searching out your combo pieces for your Terror Tray, and it's going to Monster Reborn Terror Tray all the time. Because you load your grave with spells so quick, I almost wanted to play a Sky Striker engine in this deck. Actually, I do. I do want to play a Sky Striker engine. 3 pre-preps, the +1. We have 3 Allure of Darkness. And then we also have 3 Spellbook of Secrets. Because I only have 1 knowledge. I had 7 knowledges and I sold 2 playsets of them at Nationals. So I'm just playing the 3 secrets and the 1 knowledge for right now. Even if you open 2 secrets, you can use secrets to search knowledge, use knowledge on the secret. So it's never going to be a brick when you draw 2. And in addition to that, Ritual Sanctuary recycles this back into the main deck. Also, I normally play Pot of Desires in my list, and I really need to, but currently right now, I've stretched all my Pot of Desires to other decks. and it's just like I'm tight with my pots. I need to buy 3 more pots for this deck. But I normally play the pots because the triple pre-prep, the triple secrets, and the triple pot, that's 9 +1s in your deck. And if you can resolve all 3 of them in one turn, you get a +3. So you have 8 cards in your hand, and then you can proceed with your plays. Then you could get Pot of the Forbidden during the end phase. That's another +1. So you have in equivalent, you have 5 +1s that you can get. Being well, no, Morphing Jar is more than a +1, but 4. Pot of Forbidden is a +1. This is a +1. This is a +1. Pot of Desires is a +1. And then Morphing Jar is like +5. Because, like I said, even if you discard 1 Shaddoll, you're going to, like, for example, if you discard Beast, you're going to draw 5 anyways, right? You're going to draw 6, actually. And then if you discard Hedgehog, you're going to draw 5 and then search off Hedgehog. So Morphing Jar is like a way to basically recover and recuperate. Then we have Triple Prediction Ritual to summon your Territory, and you can banish it in search. Then we have Double Shaddoll Fusion. Wanted to play 3 because it's so high ceiling going second. Then we have Double El Shaddoll Fusion. We have the GOAT. We have 1 Card Destruction, 1 Super Poly. You guys have no idea how much the ban list really helped this deck out to be more competitive. We have Card Destruction now. It doesn't discard for cost, so you discard your Shaddolls, you get a lot of effects. Sometimes it helps you to get Pot of Forbidden in the graveyard, so you can trigger it off a Territory. And then Super Poly is insane. You know, you have a Shaddoll that can fuse for any attribute basically. You can do water, wind, not light. I'm sorry, everything but light. But you could do water, wind, earth, fire, darks. Just really strong. So you don't even need to play Mud Dragon. You could just Super Poly with your opponent's Super X, go into Shiki Naga, and then you can negate any monster effect after that. You can Super Poly with your opponent's your opponent's Sky Striker monsters because they have the Fire one. You can go into your Fire Fusion. They have the Water one. You can go into your Water Fusion. Hayate, nah, we don't play the Wind Shaddoll Fusion. But ultimately, Super Poly is really broken in Shaddolls because not only does it break any board, but you can go into a free Shaddoll Fusion basically, you know, without actually having the Shaddoll Fusion. So it's really strong. It's the strongest in this archetype. I think Super Poly, Shaddolls is what got it banned because when Shaddolls were in their prime, people were playing 3 Super Polys because of Construct and Light Monsters were so prevalent. So you would just make Constructs by breaking your opponent's board. The only trap is Shaddoll Core. I like it because it's a really, really abusive extender. I use it to facilitate my fusion summoning plays as far as my rank 9 plays go. And then, you know, every time it hits the grave, you're just netting free advantage. So that's it for the main deck. Then we have our extra deck. We have 2 Behemoth Phoenix. Definitely the correct ratio. This card is insane. It's like a god card. It's really broken for this deck. It's better in Shaddolls than it is in Subterrors. Then we have 1 Construct, another great card. It also acts as an extender because you can link it off and then bring it back from the graveyard to the main monster zone, do its effect, and then you get 2 open extra deck slots, which is really important. It also, because of Construct, you're able to easily co-link your Nightmares and your Trigate. You can actually co-link it by 3 with ease just because of Construct. Because you already can co-link it by 2 really, really easily. But having Construct in grave, you just pitch a Shaddoll, summon it right here, get a separate chain, and then you have a co-link Trigate for a negation and a bigger board. So because of Construct's abusive effect from grave, you're able to co-link cards like Trigate, the Nightmares, and, you know, Unicorn as well. Those are the only links that I play, though. So, yeah. With the Trigate, though, the way that you get it co-linked by 3... you can actually do it on your opponent's. Like, that's what I like to do. I like to do it on my opponent's Gumblar and stuff like that. That's the reason why I chose not to play Underclock, because you don't make Trigate turn 1. You're always doing it, like, either going second or making it on turn 2. So your opponent normally gives you that. Like, Gokis are so prevalent, I'm telling you. Like, they normally do Gumblar shenanigans, and it's fine because Shaddolls can play through Gumblar. Like, you basically give me all these effects, and then you have the Gumblar zone, so I can just put my Trigate there, and, you know, I can just get them co-linked just at that point, which is really good. So, yeah. But if Gokis become less prevalent, I'll definitely consider playing a Underclock Taker. Or you can also just do the Unicorn, which is something else that I do a lot. But the main way I co-link Trigate by 3 is using my opponent's zone. But if not, I'll do the Unicorn that way, which is, you know, you have so many ways to extend and so many ways to get spam the field with monsters. It's never a problem to do your Unicorn and then your Trigate, especially after turn 1 when you've already established so much resources and pluses off of your Forbidden, your Morphing Jar, your Terra Tray, and all your +1 spells. Then we have Shaddoll Fusions, Triple Winda, Shiki Naga, Grista, and Anti-Yugioh. Winda is the best one for pretty much every deck. She's like the strongest of the fusions. She's a floodgate. And it's really hard to out her. Shiki Naga is the monster negator. Grista's a special summon negator. Anti-Yugioh stops annoying pesky extenders like Monster Reborn, Soul Charge, etc. Goki Rematch. It also stops like double helix and stuff like that. It basically says your opponent can't like summon from graveyard through no, I'm sorry, it stops like Big Red. Your opponent can't summon from graveyard through the effects of spells or traps, and they also can't special summon from hand through the effects of spells or traps. So it can hurt if for me, because I need a ritual summon, but I always ritual summon first and then make this. And as you can see, I don't really main deck water, so I mainly just use this for Shizuku's and the Paleozoic matchup, or if I'm playing against a deck that I know it can lock down, I'll fuse with my Shaddoll core, which is searchable, to make this, and it's just a floodgate. True King of all Chlamydia, too easy to make, and the Don Dragster, because Falco can synchro with Winda or Beast, and you go into your Don Dragster, and if you synchro with Winda, you'll get a fusion back. So basically, if you have Winda under the zone of Behemoth Fiendus, and you make your Don Dragster, you can use Winda's effect engrave to add a fusion back, and then you can make another Winda. So you basically have a really strong lockdown, being Don Dragster, Winda, and the Behemoth Fiendus. And also, it gets even worse because you'll still have your territory in your Pot of Forbidden or your Morphin Jar. So this deck sets up a lot of disruption. It's really competitive. Like, people don't really know that because this deck, nobody really plays it. Like, my channels, I have the only channel on YouTube. Trust me, I research. I have the only channel on YouTube that consistently updates Prediction Princess Shaddoll. So, like, I know for a fact that nobody really plays this deck because I research all the time. I look, every time I search Prediction Princess Shaddolls on YouTube, the first 7 videos that pop up are mine. So it's like, I know nobody really plays the deck. So like, people don't really know that it's really competitive, and that's sad. But it's a really strong deck. I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. God bless you. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. And definitely stay tuned for future content. The deck's only going to get better in the near future. And when we get the Rescue Cats, we're definitely going to give an update for you guys. Peace.